There have been many cries from the heart by party loyalists and supporters, and a sense of despair felt by many has been demonstrated in various ways. The regional chairmen have led the cry, and they have been followed by other important identifiable groups and individuals within the party. It was to be expected that the regional chairman should lead the cry. After all, Chairman Adams was one of them. It is especially sad for our party that this tragedy should befall us right at the time, indeed the first time, that we have a group of regional chairmen who have developed such a great sense of brotherliness among themselves. It is not surprising, therefore, that they should consider an attack on one of them as an attack on all of them. Hopefully, this act of infamy should bind them even tighter together. As I've tried to deal with my own personal loss and heartbreak, I have been listening to many people and taking on board the controversies and sentiments that have been generated. It is my responsibility as flag-bearer to listen and then seek to do what is in the best interest of the party. Can't do something about it. It is my responsibility as flag-bearer to listen and then seek to do what is in the best interest of our party. Having heard so many people, my first call on all party members and supporters is to cease fire. The finger-pointing, the name-calling, the insults, the lies, the denigrating of past and current leaders must stop. They are to be roundly condemned. His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor, second President of the Fourth Republic, remains an icon of our party and nation, whose legacy we in the MPP must jealously guard. There is absolutely nothing to be gained from internal recriminations within the MPP except to provide fertile soil for our opponents. It is unseemly and disrespectful towards the memory of Chairman Adams that such loud noises should continue within the party whilst we're still in the official mourning period. A certain amount of outburst induced by the tragedy is understandable because of the extreme nature of the tragedy. But that should not mean that members should behave out of character. Now that many sections of the party have spoken and made their appeals, the party structures should take over and deal with the issues that have been raised. Meetings of the National Executive Committee, the body charged with responsibility for directing the affairs of the party, and then the National Council, the highest decision-making body of the party, except for the National Annual Delegates Conference, should be convened after the Addo prayers to resolve the issues that we face. I am confident that these bodies will act in the collective interest of the party. None of us in the MPP should forget for one moment that we have an election to fight and win in 18 months' time, and that we are in the middle of selecting our parliamentary candidates for that purpose. None of us should forget the desperate state into which our nation has been plunged. And none of us should forget that the people of Ghana look to us to rescue our nation. We dare not jeopardize this sacred trust by fruitless internal strife. Chairman Adams was a passionate party man. He wanted and fought to make possible an MPP victory in 2016. Let us win it in his memory. But perhaps most important for us immediately is the need for the law enforcement agencies to bring a quick resolution to the despicable criminal act that took place in Bolgatanga a week ago. We note the professionalism so far displayed by them in their investigations. We expect them to continue to do so and not to be influenced in any way by political pressure of any sort. I acknowledge and appreciate the sentiments expressed by the President of the Republic with the promise that justice will be done to Chairman Adams. And we intend to hold him to that promise. It is unfortunate, but true, that criminal activities with political undertones in this country have tended not to be resolved satisfactorily. The latest example of this is the shooting and killing of the Nkwanta South DCE some 6 months ago. It does not engender public confidence that up to date there has been no word on the investigations into that crime. We shall not be satisfied with anything less than the arrest and successful prosecution of the killers of Chairman Adams. There should be no ifs and buts. Whilst we continue with the period of mourning for Chairman Adams, and until the party's governing bodies meet, I ask that we normalize things within our party. This means, for instance, that the officers of the party, the national chairman and the general secretary in particular, must have access to their offices at party headquarters and not be hindered in any way from being able to conduct their duties. The NPP way of doing things is to be guided by law and order, and I ask that normalcy return to our headquarters and party offices. I ask that we extend mutual respect to each other and we listen to each other. I will not tolerate chaos within our party. The recriminations against ourselves in this period of healing, I repeat, must stop. On the contrary, we should all embrace the laudable initiative of the National Women's Organizer, who is launching, as from this Sunday here at the party headquarters, a week of fasting and prayers for the welfare of the MPP. I have no doubt that with the help of Almighty God and by our collective determination, the storms that are currently buffeting the great historic movement that the MPP represents will soon subside so that it can fulfill its mission of developing our nation in freedom. The MPP is not the first party to face crisis, and the MPP will not be the last party to come out of its crisis stronger. I want to assure you, I am confident of our capacity to overcome, and we shall overcome. Finally, I want to reassure all our members, supporters, and the country at large that I remain focused on the main project of winning the election of 2016 and forming an MPP administration that will restore hope to our nation. We owe that to the long line of martyrs for freedom and justice in Ghana, and to the millions and millions of hard-working Ghanaians who have seen their efforts destroyed in a difficult, declining economy. This nation deserves a competent, compassionate, and honest government. And we in the MPP have to provide it so that Ghana can go back to a bright future of progress and prosperity. We have no choice. Come then, patriots of the MPP, let us stand together, shoulder to shoulder, in the cause of the MPP and make it happen for Mother Ghana. Let me end with a word from Holy Scripture. And pardon me that I take the liberty of amending it slightly to make my point. And it is to be found in Psalm 122, verses 6 to 8. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray for the peace of the MPP. Pray for the peace of Ghana. May they prosper who love you. Peace be within our walls. Peace be within our homes and offices. Prosperity within our country and our communities. For the sake of my brethren and companions, for the sake of my colleagues in the NPP and in our country, I will now say, peace be within us. God bless the NPP. God bless Ghana. God bless Africa. Thank you.
And you heard the 2016 presidential candidate for the New Patriotic Party, Nana Akufo-Addo, addressing members of the media and, of course, his own party as well. He had a very passionate appeal by the flag-bearer of the opposition party for unity in the party. He said quite a bit, including how he is dealing with his own loss and heartbreak over the death of Upper East Regional Chair Adams Mahama. And of course, he's calling for party members to be patient and let the structures of the party do what is best in the interest of the party. He says he's been listening to what they've been saying, and he vehemently condemned the attacks that has been happening in the media and says all party members and supporters should cease fire and allow the council to be convened so that they can act in the best interest of the party. He also asked members to look towards 2016, which you just heard him say that he is focused on winning power in 2016, and he's asking members of his party to do so as well, and also called on the law enforcement agencies to bring those who committed this crime of murder in the Upper East region. The law enforcement agencies should bring those responsible to book, and he reiterated President Mahama's comments that justice would be done. He also mentioned the Nkwanta South DCE. He died a few months ago. He was shot and killed. That is Peter Kayenso in Nkwanta South DCE. And he mentioned how disappointed he was that, you know, months later there has been no word on who committed that crime. And he also mentioned the National Women's Organizer, the efforts of Otiko Jaba, who is asking for a week of fasting and prayer. Remember, we told you over the course of the week that she said the problem was spiritual problem. That is what is facing the MPP is a spiritual problem. And then finally he concluded, that is Nana Akufo-Addo concluded by saying that he is focused on winning 2016. Let's go on to social media. I have some of your comments coming through on WhatsApp. And remember to send your name and location when you're sending us a message via WhatsApp. He says, Nana has shown maturity, leadership, and I wish all supporters from the factions to listen and keep calm. So that's from Williams in Koforidia. So that's a message coming through via WhatsApp. We have a few of your messages also on Facebook, where we posted and told you that Addo was to address members of the media and of course his party members as well, and we asked you what you expected him to say. Let's see if I can grab a few of your comments there from this morning, and a few of them. Rosemary Kafui says he has nothing to say. Eliasu Haruna Tamale says Nana Addo, as peaceful as he is known by all, will speak to reconcile the rank and file of the party. He would pat the chair and general secretary on the back and move on for victory 2016. Critics who never wished the party would be put to shame, which is what he said. And he also asked that the chairman and general secretary should be allowed access to their offices to continue to do their work until the law enforcement agencies have done their jobs and the council of the MPP has also done their jobs to see the way forward in the party. And let's see, Anwa Kanazwe says, in order for peace to prevail in the MPP, Afoko and Ejapong should just step aside as suggested by party faithfuls. It's good also ex-President Kufuor has stepped in. So those are a few of your comments coming via social media. Let me just take one more from WhatsApp before we go for a quick break. Nana, we thank you for your maturity. This one has no name and location, but please remember, if you're sending us a message via WhatsApp, send your name and location. We'll be right back.